Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be discussing check fraud in 2023. That's right, old school check fraud is back, and they are attacking real estate businesses in 2023, actually 2022. So, let me give you the skinny, let me give you the play, let me give you the hustle on what's going on so all you real estate investors can be aware of what's happening. You may ask, how do I know? I have been personally affected by this scam. And what they are doing, they are researching real estate businesses that have multiple properties. And it's a rain, so it had me blown away. How could they actually do this? But here's how it goes. You got multiple properties. Normally, when you're paying your property taxes, chances are either you're writing several checks or you may just be writing one check for the entire block of properties, depending on which county they are in. So what the scam is, they have someone at the post office who are watching these tax checks come in. So remember, every year you got to pay your property taxes. Normally around November, the last day, a lot of real estate investors, they wait until the very end to pay their taxes. Red flag. So they're looking out for the checks. When the checks come through, they grab the checks. Then what they're doing is they are altering your property tax checks. Now remember, this is November of the previous year that you're paying your taxes. So they alter the checks, then they take the checks, cash the checks, and when they alter them, they're either changing the check number, they'll change the name on the check, they'll change the amount of the check, and they'll take them to another entity who's cashing the check. So it's actually a rain of people. Now, you say, well, how could they cash these checks? Well, here's the thing. If you're in a rain and you got somebody at the check cashing place, you got somebody at the post office, you got somebody at the bank, it all circles around. And the person's name that's on your check, they've been a victim of fraud. So when you investigate the person who's on the check, they're just as surprised that their name is on the check as you are. So the ring is so tight that it's hard for the investigators to actually find out what's going on. The next thing is when you pay your property taxes, you pay your taxes, you think you're done, you don't hear anything from the county until 2 months later. So you get a letter in the mail from the county saying, hey, look, we have not received your property taxes. You're like, wait a minute, I paid my property taxes. What are you talking about? I paid these. You go to the county, you show them your checks, say, hey, here's my check, I paid my property taxes. They're saying, no, you didn't pay your property taxes. So now you're 60 days in, thinking that your property taxes have been paid. So the scammers got a 60-day head start in front of all the investigators, in front of you, in front of the banks, and it's pretty much a wash at this point. Good luck trying to find out who these scammers are. It makes it very difficult when you're 60 days behind the schedule. Oh, you say, well, let me go and rewind the tape. Well, those things only good normally for 30 days. So if you go back to rewind the tape to find out who was there to cash the checks, so on and so forth, you can't even see that anymore. So these guys are very good. So that's how it happens. Let's talk about a few ways that you may be able to prevent this from happening. And one way you can do it is use security features on your check, such as watermarks. You can use security threads on your check, and it just makes it more difficult for people to forge your checks. Another way you can not necessarily prevent it from happening, but to Stay on top of it is to review your bank statements regularly, for unauthorized transactions. Now keep in mind, some of the checks, they do not change the name. So if you make the check, in my case, you made a check out to the tax assessor's office, the amount was correct, everything on the check looked the same except for the check number. They only change 2 digits. So if your check is 1400, they may change it to 1402. So if you're just scanning down your bank statement, you would never know what's going on. And so these thieves, these fraudsters, they are very clever. So review your bank statements in detail. And like I said, it's a niche. They are attacking real estate businesses' taxes. Very small niche. I want to make all you investors aware of what's going on. Another thing you can do is use digital options instead. So use things like credit cards. You can use the automatic drafting system through your bank. The only negative thing about using the credit cards, one of the negative things I would say is that most government charges you a transaction fee, which is about 3%. So depending on how many properties you're trying to pay taxes for, this amount could be, very expensive. So what you can do is go to your bank, you can get cashier's checks and actually walk them in. And that's what I end up doing. I end up walking my checks into the county because, I don't like paying fees. Let's just keep it 100. I try to keep the cash flow inside of the business. So bump the fees, walking in, pay it directly. And then, of course, if you do see any unexpected transaction, report it to the authorities, report it to your bank. And that's what I did. I reported to the bank. My bank was very good. They were very understanding. Of course, these entities have insurance on things like this when they happen. So everything at the end went well, but this is a very, very clever scam that I want to bring to y'all's attention. So just keep your eye out. Don't let it happen to you if you can prevent it. These are some ways, but I just want to bring it to your attention. Click the link in the description if you want to build your business credit with the NAS Credit Builders. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here all year 2023. This is Cash Flow Stacy, and I'll see you next time. Have a great